107 years ago, Isaac Williams received a flyer from a church that sat on this land in rural Payne County. That flyer would change the life of a Virginia man and generations to come.
My grandpa came here in 1902. He purchased 320 acres, and we're a little over 3,000 acres now, and my son and I are actively farming this thing.
John is the third generation, and his son Carl is the fourth. This is Kinsey. She and her brother Cale are the fifth generation of Williams, all to have grown up on the original 320 acres. And over those almost 11 decades, they've seen some good times and some lean times, but the family has always made it through them. Sometimes you just have to dig in and ride it out.
There's a well east of here. It was hand dug, and they quit one night, and there was water in the hole, and they got back the next day to finish the hole. They was going to dig deeper, and it was full of water up within about 2 foot of the surface. It was the only well in this part of the country that really supplied water, and neighbors for several miles came around to fill their tanks and get the water out of that well, but they never pumped it dry.
So that's the well
that's the one everybody got water out of.
That watered your family and so many other families.
Yeah.
So it is a tremendous achievement actually to have held a piece of land in your family for 100 continuous years.
And as of 1992, the Williams family had. They applied to the Oklahoma Centennial Farm and Ranch program and were accepted, being recognized as an official Centennial farm in Oklahoma.
People are looking for all kinds of ways to keep the history of their family alive.
Well, I grew up on this farm, was born on this farm, and growing up on this farm was work. We milked cows, had chickens, and slopped the hogs.
So the idea that your family stayed there, and whatever happened to you, locusts or blizzards or drought, and you still own that property, as I say, may be a testament to Oklahomans' tenacity or just hard-headedness. I'm not sure.
To honor that tenacity of so many Oklahomans, the formation of the Oklahoma Centennial Farm and Ranch Project was announced in 1989 by then Oklahoma Governor Henry Bellman. The program is a joint effort by the Oklahoma Historical Society and the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture. Currently, there are over 1,200 Centennial farms and ranches in 70 of the state's 77 counties.
We try to honor these families the best way we know how, and because we recognize what an achievement this is.
Oklahoma farms and ranches that qualify must be occupied by the family for over 100 years on the same land. That land must be a working farm or ranch of at least 40 acres. And the family must show that the land produces at least $1,000 in sales annually. And finally, someone from the family must operate or live on the land, with one exception.
Unless you're over 65, and if you've moved into town, as long as it's being leased out and the family's receiving income from the property, that will work too. But we certainly prefer that the family, some member of the family, even if it's a distant cousin, still be living on the property.
100 years is a long time. So how can Oklahomans prove that their family has owned the land for all of those years?
What we really need is just the kind of tracking of who has owned the property. So that original person, and then the page that shows that it was given to each person subsequently up to the current owner. But a lot of times an abstract will go back the 100 years.
The hand-dug well that is no more than 20 feet deep may be covered, but the history of the Williams family and WILLCREST farms continues to grow with each generation that is brought up on the land that Isaac Williams, formerly of Virginia, now of Oklahoma, purchased over a century ago.